What's up, Nearing Nerdvana? Bringing you episode 20 of Long Story Short. It's been quite a journey, for the year, right?
Yeah, 20 shows already, man. It feels like we just started yesterday.
I know, right?
Yeah, hard to believe. Yeah, man. Thank you for everybody who's tuning in. We really appreciate the views. And yeah, we're going to have a bunch of cool books to talk about tonight, like we normally do. We expect more people to be dropping in here relatively shortly. So we'll build the crew as the night goes on, but we didn't want to keep anybody waiting. So, we can start the show and see where it goes.
Cool. I want to thank our sponsors real quick. I want to thank Cover Price. If you haven't signed up for a membership yet, you can use the code Nirvana14 for a 30-day unlimited membership for only 99 cents. And then I also want to thank our sponsors, Bird City Comics. So make sure you're signed up for their text line so you don't miss all their exclusive drops that they have. And then you can use the code Nirvana at checkout for a 15% discount. So, and
Yeah,
then, yeah. And we have someone joining us. We have the man, the myth, the legend, Knife Wonder.
Hunter.
Oh, man.
What's up, brother?
Man, we got a skeleton crew tonight.
Yeah, Josh is on his way. Josh just hit me up. He's on his way.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I was about to bring that up, that Ben and I have worked on a skeleton crew before where we had a pro spec list, 10 books that maybe each of us had one of the nominations on, and then we had to speak on someone else's book, what their spec play was for it and stuff like that.
We've gone through it. It's gone through it. This is an easy show, man. There's no spec here. We're just talking about some cool books. You don't need to know much about them. So this is an easy show for people just to hop on and riff with. So, anyways, thanks for hopping on, buddy. We got some good stuff tonight. All right. Real quick before we get going, normal disclaimer applies. Please don't run out and buy any of these books. This is not a spec list. This is not a buy list. This is just some cool books to maybe keep on the lookout when you're digging. If anything, this show's about how to make the hobby more enjoyable, right? Some people get burnt out on spec. They put a lot of money behind a character. It doesn't work out. They get discouraged. This list is just about having a good time, having fun, talking about comics, and not much more than that. So, why don't we hop right into it? And
we got a few comments before we start. James Kreider says, "Easy show."
Oh man, you're breaking the rules, James. Man, this is not. You don't have to run out and buy any of this stuff, man.
I break the rules every week. I always go digging the day after the show, regardless if I'm on the show or not, and see if I can find some of those books that's on the show. But the good thing about it is, for me, it's practice, because it gets me looking around the area for those other books or through that same run that book is in, and I end up finding other stuff. So it's always okay,
it's like brain exercise, right?
Yeah,
or
exactly.
It's kind of like a refresher into a section that you probably wouldn't normally look through, right?
Yeah, or artists. Before I go, if I see an artist on here that I haven't really been checking for in a while, or a new artist, I go and look up some of their other books. So when I go out to a comic shop, I'm looking through those sections too, and that's how you stumble on those surprise books.
Yeah, man, there's a lot of cool books out there. This hobby's more about than just a few first appearances, a few key books. It's a lot bigger than that, and that's the whole point. Let's show and talk about things to make the hobby fun. There's low price point stuff, a lot of dollar bin stuff you can find on the show, some higher, tougher to find price stuff, but cool books nonetheless. A lot of them aren't on most people's radars.
So we have a special guest tonight. So let me introduce Laura from Bird City Comics.
Wow.
I'm bombing the show. I'm like, should I? Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna say hi, guys.
How's it going?
Good. Busy, but I saw that you guys are going live, and I was just hoping Ben, is it okay if I just hang out for a little
Yeah, of
bit?
course.
Yeah?
Man, it's your channel.
It's your
Hop right on
show.
whenever you want. You don't have to ask. That's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my
Thank
show,
you.
guys.
I believe it was part of our agreement, that one of the girls would show up every week and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
the
yeah.
seat's been like catching cobwebs. So for a little bit.
I
So,
know,
but
I know.
I understand everyone's schedule is busy and it's hard
But
to
I'm
be.
here.
Yeah. So thank you for joining us.
Yeah. Shut up, Brandon. Sorry.
I was gonna highlight that.
I'm
I thought
gonna
that was
yell at
pretty
the
funny.
chat already. Shut up, Brandon.
All right.
Okay.
All right, we're just gonna jump with a quick Stan Lee shout out. His birthday's coming up. It's on the 28th, so we're not quite there yet. But we covered a few Stan Lee books last week, and someone dropped this in the chat. I think it might have been you Ninth. And Secret Wars is coming. Stan Lee's obviously a legend in the space, so happy birthday, Stan! And yeah, just another one of the cool Stan Lee variants. There's lots of these. We only scratched the surface on a show recently, and yeah, just a classic Stan Lee cover.
I think I saw on the magazine cover he would have been 100 this year.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was reading
Really?
that.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane. I saw that too. I was like, man, I can't believe Stan Lee would have been 100. Man.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Yeah, man, he had a good run. We should all be so lucky. We should all be so lucky. All right.
And then with this book, I'm actually surprised it didn't increase in price a little bit with all the hype on Secret Wars 1, even though it should have been issue 2. But people always gravitate towards issue 1 for whatever reason. But yeah, so I'm surprised this particular variant didn't
Yeah, I mean the Stan Lee ones. I mean, they can be harder to track down, but they don't go for crazy prices most of the time. I mean, there's some of them go for premiums, but yeah, this thing didn't do much of anything.
It's a strong cover too. That's weird.
Yeah.
This one, I know around the time of Fan Expo Canada, I actually have found a nice little stack of these, and I threw them up on Whatnot, and people, all of them went for above $20, so people like the book. I think it might be on this particular because they had they had the partial sketch color, and then they had the full sketch. They had the full sketch. I think part of the problem with this book was for a while it wasn't no copies on eBay. Nobody was listing these on eBay, and that was with a lot of the Stan Lee variants. But now you're starting to see people list Stan Lee books on eBay more because they're actually selling. So me personally, that's something I like to look at is like, hey, it's cool if a book is listed on eBay for a high price point, but is it actually selling? When you go back and look at a lot of these Stan Lee books, you see that they're actually selling. So it shows it's an interest there. I don't care if it's selling for $10, $20. To me, that shows a stronger interest in it than a book that might sell for $300 once or twice a month versus something that's selling every single day.
Yeah,
I miss you. I haven't seen you in forever. How are you?
I know. I've been working. I've been working, girl. I miss you and Aunt. I was gonna call y'all the other day because you had posted a picture of you and Aunt going. I guess y'all was going out or something, and Aunt had on the pea coat and all of that. I was like, look at them getting all cute, getting ready to go out.
Dreamy? He's dreamy.
I was like, look at my boy up there looking like Suave, GQ.
All right,
Yeah,
real quick. Cal L has sent us a $10 super chat. I will get my guitar set up, and I will play something after the next.
Thank you, Cal. Happy holidays to you and everyone else as well. Thank you so much for that. That's super cool. Thank you.
Yeah, and then and the one last thing about these Stan Lee books. When I was looking up the other ones on the list that we had a couple weeks ago, I was kind of surprised to see that there weren't a lot of signature series copies, like 0, that were signed by Stan Lee. So that's what kind of shocked. I'm sure there's others that have a ton of signatures on it, but the ones that we were particularly showing, they didn't have those signatures on it, even though he signed a ton, right?
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, I guess when it comes to getting a Stan signature, I mean, you can get him to sign virtually any book, as we've seen. DC books, it doesn't really matter. People get them to sign anything.
It's true.
Yeah, these weren't high at the top of the list, I guess, for people to get signed by the man.
Right.
All right. So we're going to talk about a cover A book by Lucio Perillo. Maybe one of his more famous Vampirella works. This was Vampirella 19 from 2011. Just a classic vampy cover. A book that fetches a fair amount. This was just before they started to do a gazillion vampy variants for every single book. We saw a sale for this about a year and a half ago for $230, which is solid. There's only 27 9/8 on the census, 54 total copies, so not a ton of them, but a book that's in there. When if you ever go digging for vampy books, right, there's usually just like boxes, and they're not particularly well organized, and so you can pull this box, you can pull this out of long boxes, if you look for it, but just an absolutely famous Perillo cover that has been homaged a couple of different times, which we will touch on, but a classic vampy, one to grab if you ever see it out there.
And a 9.8 with all those dark edges, that would be hard to come by. Perillo's amazing. I like how you can see how him and Carla kind of play off of each other, because he taught her so much and she kind of shows him some techniques. And so you look at the two of them and you can definitely see.
It's funny that you say that, Laura. Aaron, before we jam that jam, could we just go to the next screen real quick? So she did a take on that, right? So who did it better is the question. Carla.
Oh, I can't say. I love Carla. I think she's good. That's crazy.
But this is a very tough book. It was a C2E2 exclusive, limited to 300. Just a beautiful Carla Cohen that was clearly inspired by Perillo's book. This came 9 years later, and this is a tough book to find. This is a very tough book to find, believe it or not. So 47 total on the census, 49.8. Most of them are signed. 39 of the 47 are signature series of this book.
Wow. When those situations kind of happen, like where there's more signed copies, does that mean that you want to go out and try to find a Blue Label book, or even like find a raw one?
I do. It draws me when they're mostly signed. I want to go find the unsigned ones just because.
Agreed.
Yeah.
All right, we got that jam for Callow for that super chat.
And this redhead singing.
Oh, that was good. That was really good. Okay, Ben. Question: what's this one missing without switching back to the other slide that the other slide had?
What is it missing? I mean, trade dress specifically. It's more of a full
No.
body
I mean
shot.
about the character itself. A detail on her or her outfit. Let's see if the chat can guess. I was looking at it. And I'm like, oh, she didn't include the blank.
All right, go back to the other one real quick.
No. Wait, don't.
Oh, you don't want to go
back.
back. What is she? Is it her choker?
No.
No.
Ninth, do you know?
I didn't even pay attention.
Is it her collar?
No, she got her collar.
She's got her collar. I'm gonna give the chat 2 seconds and I'm gonna give it away. Because I was actually looking at the last one. Oh, come on, Liger, you should have this. It's her belly button ring. There's no belly button ring. So like that was the part that I was like, wait a second. What happened to her?
Good eyes, Laura. Well, that's a good catch. That's a good catch.
And it's a bit more gory too, with all the blood. There's more blood on this one.
She's not wearing her ring either. She took off all the jewelry, really. All right, Big Remo, I'm not counting that. That came in after I did it. Cheater.
But they're on the delay too, though.
No, I'm still calling a cheater. Sorry, Remo. No points. Ooh.
All right, keeping it going. So this is a beautiful Adi Granov cover that I don't think gets the love that it necessarily should. Remember, Amazing Spider-Man 601 is a Campbell that goes for big bucks, right? A classic Black Cat cover, modern classic by most measures. And then you just go one issue forward to this one. And I think this Mary Jane cover has just gone underappreciated for a long time. You can find this one digging. It does go for a little bit on eBay, 10 to $15, maybe a little bit more. There are newsstands available of this one, but this is just, one of those books that I think at one point, Granov will probably get really hot and people will have to have this. But yeah, just one that's fun to grab when you're out there digging or poking around.
Nice.
I feel like Groundhoff is one of those artists that everyone knows about, but kind of like takes the back burner a little bit.
Yeah, and they rave about, there's plenty of covers that they rave about for Groundhoff too, right? It's not all of them, but there's like, there's that.
There's always a cover. Yeah, there's always a cover that's like you think of when you think of Groundhoff, right? Welcome in International Comics, Josh. How are you?
Josh, what's up, brother?
It's cold, man. It's so cold in this room. It's so cold.
I don't know. I like this, but the composition's weird. Like, it looks like the motorcycle's floating, and I get it. It's supposed to be like in the background. Ben, what do you think if DeCall did this same angle?
He would definitely do it differently. I could see him doing a take on this, but
the Catwoman this year with the swimsuit issue that he did. Like similar, it has that kind of like low up down view. Yeah. But I mean, like obviously
I don't think DeCall's ever homaged anybody. I don't think he ever will. It's just not his style, so I don't think we'll ever see him.
He's
do
never
that,
homaged anybody, really.
I don't think so. Not that I'm aware of. Like, I'm trying to think through all of his work. I mean, he takes his work very, very, very seriously, and I just think he's got his own ideas. I don't think he would be down for homaging anyone, to be honest with you. But unless he
kind of appreciate that about him, though. Kind of like
unless
that.
he felt he could bring something to the piece, I don't think. No, I don't know.
But that could come from his street artist background too, as well, because like once someone becomes known as a biter or whatever, then that kind of follows them around, and I don't see why he wouldn't take that attitude into the comic realm as well.
Yeah, I mean, I just think he likes to put his own stamp on things, and I appreciate that for him. And like this pace of work is slower than other artists. He's not putting out 3 or 4 pieces a month like a lot of other ones. Like he's putting out, 1 a month or something like that, one and a half a month or something. So like, but everything he does is pretty unique, So if he did this, I think he could do it quite well. But now there's just always something about the way that this cover laid out that I always appreciated, and one I just like to grab if I see it out there.
Well, yeah, $51 for a 9/8 is a steal.
Yeah, that was just recently. That was literally, I think that's what put it on my radar. It was like this week or something.
Oh wow.
But. All right, what else do we got on here? All right, we put this on for 9th. You want to talk about this one, man? You want me to talk about this one? I like this book.
Yeah, we both can talk about it. That $63 9/8 that you posted had my mouth down to the floor. I picked this book up for like $20, $30 shipped or something like that raw, and it's definitely a 9/8 candidate. But that was like back in the spring, maybe like back in the springtime this year. Hell, I would have waited on the $63 9/8, but man, this book is definitely low printed. I just can't imagine it being a lot of these out there, especially in this time period. People weren't ordering a whole the comics at the amount that they were now. You didn't have store variants. It's a lot of stuff going that can just indicate that this is a low printed book. It's a Sarah Pichelli cover. Shout out to Laura for teaching us that it's not Pichelli, it's Pichelli.
I was just gonna say you said it right. Most people don't.
And yeah, man, I just think that books like this, especially for Miles, have so much potential to bounce back. Because the market is gonna bounce back. And whenever I think part of the reason that the market is further down than it would be is because Miles spec hasn't paid off. That would be like if LeBron never amounted to anything as a basketball player. Sports cards wouldn't be where they're at right now because you don't have that transcendent player to push the market. And with
Wait,
comic
what do you
books,
mean that it hasn't paid off, Miles spec?
they haven't did a movie. I mean, they're doing the Into the Spider-Verse, but most people don't care about that because casuals, they won't watch an animated movie.
But across the Spider-Verse, you got so many different characters now that are just being bought up for insane prices overnight, essentially.
Yeah,
So,
but people want that solo.
They
want that solo Miles movie, man. That's what they want. They want that solo Miles movie. And until we get that, I think we're gonna see every year Miles books will go up because it'll be some rumor. People will realize all that rumor isn't true, and it's gonna go right back down until we get.
okay.
I will say until we see a trailer for a live action Miles movie, like those prices are gonna go up and down every year. So just buy when they down. Don't sell when they go up. Just hold on to it and wait for it, like actual tangible news. But this is going to be a book right here that people are going to look back and be like, damn, I should have bought that when it was cheap.
Yeah.
Once they're gone, they're gone.
Yeah. A couple of points on this book. So one of Miles' most expensive books is the 1 in 50 #1 from this issue where he's between the two taxi cabs.
Oh yeah.
That is the #1, and that book has gone for crazy money. Recent sale for about $3,500, which is down, but I question the high sale on that book if it was real because it was $13,000. Doesn't seem real, but it's one of his rarest books for 1 in 50 because it wasn't even getting 50,000 orders. Issue #2 of this run, the 1 in 25, is an Amy Reeder cover that's really, really cool. That book is sold for over $200 raw, which is beautiful. And this one is just 37,000 copied ordered for a 1 in 25 with no exclusive. So this is a tough book and a cool one. So those are the only 3 issues from this run that had ratios. After this one, they didn't do anymore. But yeah, this is a tougher book. And I was shocked to see it go for $63 in a 9.82. So I would have snagged that price. But,
yeah.
Josh is making me cold. Just looking at him is making me cold.
So
I'm not cold. It's warm here.
I have,
but
I have my hands in my hoodie too.
It's like 15 degrees in Texas right now. I got the freaking fireplace going.
I have my hoodie on. I have a thermal shirt underneath, but I am wearing flip flops. So
It's supposed to be like -30 here tomorrow or something like that. So
the weirdest thing is it's going to be 60 in Boston tomorrow, which is never 60 this time of year.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's kind of, but with like 2 inches of rain. So it is what
Sounds
it is.
Beautiful. Sounds great.
All right. What do we got next? All right. This was a viewer submission. Daniel Reynolds from Instagram. His Instagram handle's right there. If you want to give him a shout out, we got a lot of comments from this book being in the thumb for this, but this is SpongeBob Comics #29. We talked about some EC homages last week, and somebody said, "Hey, what about this one?" So we throw it out there. Really cool comic. I would say a couple of things about these SpongeBob comics. They're hard as hell to find, and they're pretty damn hard and high grade because they were truly kids comics that got read. So when you're talking about a book that's less than 7,000 copies ordered, most of them given to kids to read, they can be very, very, very difficult to track down. But just a classic EC Comics homage from a beloved character. Good book to find. Grab if you ever see it.
I think I have this. And if I don't have it, I sold it on Whatnot. But
I'm about to buy it.
I've had this before. I can swear. But I don't know if it was like my Animaniacs comic too, where it was a newsstand copy. But I know I've had this comic in my collection before.
I have to check my son's drawer. I used to buy him SpongeBob comics when I went to the comic store. He's like, "Grab me the new SpongeBob. Grab me the new SpongeBob." So he's got a small stack of these. They're kicked to shit, but I'll have to check and see if this is one of them. I don't remember.
Yeah, I remember why I picked it up. It was because Jessup had spoke about the
Sienkiewicz.
The 340 homage with the spatula.
Yeah, that's the Sienkiewicz.
Yeah. So, because I was on the hunt for that forever, but then I started finding all these like EC horror covered SpongeBob comics, and I was kind of like, well, that's unique. So
Yeah, I had no idea these were a thing, and I love like pre-code horror stuff. So now I gotta deep dive on these.
I don't think
yeah,
there was a huge run within the SpongeBob. I think this might have been the only issue that they did this one for, Josh, but they had a bunch of cool theme covers for the SpongeBob comics.
Have you guys ever watched this show? It's like a
Heck
an
yeah.
acid trip. It's
I
like
don't
this
grew up with
generation
this show.
Ren and Stimpy, right? This is like Ren and Stimpy for me was SpongeBob for my kids.
Yeah, my
No.
kids watched it nonstop. I got hooked on it as they were watching it. So.
Did you really?
Yeah,
You would
I
just sit there
hated it like the first time, and then you
Oh,
hear
it's-
nothing.
you have to watch it not sober.
Yeah.
Great. It's a great show.
Damn it! Now I know what I should have got Josh for a Secret Santa. Not that you are mine.
Yeah, I love SpongeBob, man. I grew up watching that stuff, so
Good.
All right. All right, so I just came across this book recently. So this is Vamp Blade number 9 from 2016. This is Vamp Pool. So this was basically a Gwenpool play, believe it or not. Gwenpool blew up in late 2015, 2016. So Vamp Blade riffed on that for a little bit. So this is a very tough book to find, believe it or not. This is a Mendoza cover C. And very, very difficult to get your hands on. There's 2 versions, as most of these Action Lab books are. There's a risque and a non-risque. I prefer the non-risques from all of these. Regardless, people ask a fair amount for this book when it gets listed. And there are a few other ones where they have the Vamp Pool logo, and they all go for a fair amount, believe it or not. But there's probably 3 or 4 different covers for this one. This one seems to be one of the more sought after ones, and just kind of an obscure little book tied to a character who no straight to anybody that I really like. But I actually stumbled across this one relatively recently, and there really aren't any out there.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing as Liger. Of course, you found this.
Yeah,
You found this book.
Yeah, like I said, don't go chase these. Don't pay up for these. By all means, please do not. But if you see it in a dollar bin, grab it. Why not? You could spend worst way to spend $1.
Yep. Okay.
All right. What do we got? Okay, so
All right. Now I'm intrigued.
so this is an Ashley Wood cover. This is Kabuki Classics number 7 from 1999. I don't think they were printing a lot of these Kabuki Classics. I went to look them up on Comic-Con. I couldn't find any numbers on them, which means they're probably super low. But this is a tough book to find, but a beautiful, beautiful Ashley Wood cover. We've spoken about Ashley Wood on the show before, and this one is out there in the dollar bins for sure. But I think last time I checked, I think there was a copy listed on eBay for like $10. But this is comic book art at its best, in my opinion, and one I'd
Did
be
you put
grabbing.
something on your Instagram, Ben? That was Ashley Wood. I feel like
I
you
have
did
in the
recently.
past, but not. I didn't put this one recently, but I posted a lot of Ashley Wood stuff.
Yeah, I would love to work with her. I think that would be amazing.
So there's 2 Ashley. There's an Ashley Woods and there's an Ashley Wood, and I've screwed this up countless times because I couldn't. For some reason, I kept thinking this Ashley Wood is a
You're
guy.
right. Wood is a guy because he's Australian, and then the other one's a girl.
Right, but I always I have referred to Ashley Wood as a
I'm thinking the girl
far too many times myself.
You're right. I'm thinking the other one.
But yeah, just a beautiful, beautiful piece of work. And like no spec value to this, but just a beautiful comic cover. But this Kabuki Classics, I think, was super low ordered because I can't seem to find numbers on what they were.
It's gorgeous.
Why do I feel like Joe has this?
What's that?
I feel like Red Hood has
He would
found
have this?
book. Yeah, or something similar to it.
I'm sure he might. I mean, this is the kind of stuff Joe would typically dig out.
Yeah.
All right, what do we have next? So this is a Tank Girl cover B.
Wow.
So this is
Okay.
Tank Girl number 3. Tank Girl's obviously super edgy. This is a Jamie Hewlett cover B. This is a really tough book to find. Borderline offensive, but funny nonetheless. And I don't know. I came across it. I thought it was funny, so I think I just decided to throw it on here. But I don't think this Tank Girl run was also being ordered very heavily, and as this being a cover B, a fun one to keep an eye open for if you're out there.
Borderline offensive too. I like that. Borderline offensive, but that's like the best stuff. Is always borderline. Ninth, you need to weigh in. You haven't said anything lately. You're making me nervous because you're not talking.
I'm over here multitasking.
What do you think of this?
This wild, man. Man, this wild. Yeah.
A little bit.
It's wild, man.
I think Tank Girl's an underappreciated property. Wasn't like Margot Robbie linked? Wasn't Margot Robbie linked to Tank Girl not too long ago? A couple years ago.
I thought they were gonna do something like relaunch it or something like that. Was what the rumor mill was for a while, but I don't think anything ever came out of it. But this reminded me of like where it's like an alternate angle for the Coppertone.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's no dog. She's just
Yeah.
We're from the dog's point of view. That's what it really is.
Margot Robbie as Tank Girl. I don't know if I like that. And I love Margot Robbie. I think she's amazing. She's like the prettiest girl on the planet and she's so talented, but not for this.
I mean,
I think the girl from
her production company like optioned the property or something, or something to that effect. But this was probably a couple years ago. So
Okay.
what's the young lady from Ozark's name?
Oh gosh,
yeah, she's pretty.
She could play Tank Girl.
She could.
Give me a second. I'll look it up because that's
She
going to bug
could.
me. Are you thinking Julia Ruth? Sophia Charlotte?
It might be Julia Ruth. Is that her name?
Her name was Ruth in the show. I know that.
Julia Garner plays Ruth. What did I say?
Okay. You said Julia. Did you say
Garner,
Julia Ruth?
You guys are all so confused, but I clearly meant Julia Garner as Ruth. Yeah.
Yeah, she's good.
Just
You gotta speak girl. I know what I meant. That would be a good pick.
All right.
Oh my goodness.
So this is a decal that I never see when I go digging. It's not particularly rare. I put in a couple of things. This book came out August 2020, so shortly after comic shops had reopened and were probably relatively conservative on their orders. Comic-Con wasn't reporting numbers during this time period. DeCall also hadn't sort of reached his stardom, I would say, at this point either. So this is just one that I never see when digging. There are a handful of copies listed on eBay for $5-6, nothing crazy. But just a cool DeCall that I think is either forgotten about or doesn't come up very often.
Okay.
I have something new to hunt now.
You don't have this one, Aaron?
I don't have this one, but I mean, I know my area, like they're covered with Captain Marvel covers everywhere. Like I just looked through Captain Marvel stuff today earlier, and most people don't care, is what I've noticed.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, this Empire tie-in also didn't.
Yeah,
really sort of set the world on fire. So, this is just not one that a lot of people, I don't think, we're loading up on from a store perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of people just look over Captain Marvel covers, but she has some really good covers out there. If we just being honest.
Yep.
I love some of the Captain Marvel covers, to be honest with you. Absolutely love some of them. And yeah, this is just a cool DeCall. He did a good job with the lightning on this one. And yeah, one One that
Ooh,
I just wanted to put out there. If
just real
people like
quick,
to look for stuff.
Mojo Pen is one of the 3-4
Whoa,
that
whoa,
have.
whoa,
Nice.
whoa!
Yeah,
Gotta be
congrats.
honest with that. Congrats.
Yeah, this is nice. I like it. It's not my favorite to call, but it definitely has his signature to it. So if you're a collector or if you're Ben, you need to have it.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, by no means his best work at all, but cool nonetheless.
Yeah, it is. And I like that you included it.
All right, what else do we got on here tonight?
Ooh, hello. Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if this one should have been censored or not. Like, is there enough
Maybe.
shadow there?
Good enough. This show is rated for adults, anyways. Like
Yeah.
whenever,
Yeah.
we're
It's
healthy.
all art, right? So
Yeah.
So Hunter Killer #2. This is a Linsner cover B. We talked about some Hunter Killer books on prior shows. This is a tough book to find. Obviously, a little edgy in some ways. But what I did learn about this that I didn't know was that Dynamic Forces has a red foil version of this. So the Hunter Killer is in trade dress is in red foil, limited to 799, which would be a cool book to find. But this is a cool Linsner title, regardless. One that you can find digging, although I've never come across this. Anybody else ever seen this book out there anywhere? Even
No.
familiar with this one?
Never.
Unanimously, no.
Okay. Yeah, Linsner seems to kind of be having a little bit of like a resurgence recently. He kind of faded away from the scene. And yeah, this one just seems to be a bit more under the radar than most.
I love her boobs, but not like in like that I love her boobs kind of way. I like her boobs because they're real. Like those are real boobs. Like they kind of just they fall the right way. And I appreciate that as a female. I don't like when you see these comic covers and they're like at her chin. This is more realistic to me.
You know,
and
I didn't know if those really were like exposed. Honestly, like this is a Top Cow comic. Like this was like on the shelves. Like this was not like, you know, wrapped in plastic. That I'm aware of.
Not in the
the
poly bag.
shadowing's done
Yeah.
right though. It's not like obscene. Like it's subtle.
Yeah, is there nothing in the
It's
shadows?
artistic about it, right?
What's that?
It's artistic how they present
Yeah.
like the entire layout of the cover, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's not.
Yeah, but this is the kind of book that if you're digging, you'd grab it out of the dollar bins, I'm sure, right?
Yeah. I keep looking at the blue guy in the background that got his
Sure
brains
you do,
blown out.
Josh. Sure you do.
I was like, what
Guy in
is
the
that?
background.
There's the blue guy.
Yeah, there is. He's in the bottom right corner.
I didn't notice him until John.
Yeah, that's how I kept saying. I'm like looking. I'm like trying to
I'm
figure
a
out what's going
pervert.
on.
I'm like,
and
no.
I'm like,
Okay.
like someone's got their brains blown out in the
Well, he got
background.
his. If you look, he got his.
Oh.
And then he slid down the wall. You could see like his brains, like
Yeah,
Yeah.
Of course. I was looking at that too, Josh. You
yeah. All you people.
All I
Sheesh.
see. Mhm.
All right.
All right,
Before we get the channel taken down, let's go.
Right.
All right. Some other books we talked about recently. So Innovation Comics. There's just some fun books to collect from Innovation. So this is Time Drifter #1. Mike Okamoto. This is a cabaret. I don't know what the what the print run on Innovation was. I can't imagine it's crazy, but they've got a series of just really cool looking books that you can find while digging. I don't think anybody really charges all that much for these. We've talked about them countless times on the show, right? There's Adam Hughes covers, in these runs. There's just some really cool stuff that they put out. This Time Drifter series, I think, was, this came out in the mid 80s. This might have been 86, 87, but one that you don't see as often, but it's pretty cool. Just sort of the vibe, the noir vibe to this. I think I also threw on here, Aaron, if I'm not mistaken, issue #3 as well, which is also just kind of fun. And then issue number 2, which is not here, was more of a jungle type theme. But yeah, just fun books to find when you're out there digging. You know, no real spec value in any of this stuff, but I don't know. I just kind of like the art behind these and just sort of the
Noir
vibe.
art is amazing.
Mhm.
It's like that subtle, sexy, without revealing too much, but it's so implied with the thigh highs and the one strap being off, and just that really classic look. Bitter Root. Sozomaika did a very, very cool Bitter Root cover that has
Oh
that
yeah,
noir
beautiful.
attire that she.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gorgeous, and that kind of. I could see people collecting these covers just for that aspect.
Well, I'm surprised like this genre hasn't taken off a little bit more than it has, like, because I know there's been a couple titles where people were, taking this like time period, like what with Good Asian, um that they were trying to like tell those kind of stories again. So I'm surprised like more writers haven't, I guess, kind of fallen into that as well.
Yeah, and the Good Asian beat out Stray Dogs for best series. So people were definitely reading it, but you're just not seeing as many, I don't want to say copycats, but you're not seeing that trend continue as much as you think
Right.
it would, given the success of what that can do.
Right.
It takes time for people to produce new properties and get that stuff, but who knows what it sort of brings back, right? If people have the IP, they may wake something up. I don't know who owns all of this innovation stuff, to be honest with you, if anybody does.
I don't know either.
But yeah, I do like looking at their books when I come across them, and then these were fun.
So I'm surprised Laura didn't say it, but like I think the only thing that these covers need
It's a
is
white dress.
red dress, right?
No, I actually like the white if you're doing noir style, because then it's like
Okay.
it fits that whole silver screen. So if you're in white, and yeah, then it works.
Okay. Here's that makes sense.
Yeah, she didn't seem to have any hesitation just to jump right into that ocean there. She just
In her heels. She's going for it.
Right.
Good for her.
She's not worried about that hair, right?
Nope, not at all. Full moon as well.
Nice.
All right. I don't know if Carter was talking about this book recently. This is near the end of the Night Stalkers run. I think 16 might have been the last issue in this run, but just a really cool blade cover that's tough to find, right? It's always smart to grab books near the end of their runs, but this Night Stalker run didn't go that long, but just a classic blade comic that can go for a decent amount, $15-20. I think people ask for this, but you don't see it around very much. I mean, I couldn't find the print run numbers on this, but this did not have heavy orders at this point in the series, and this one is one that people seem to like. Nice, congrats, good pull.
Okay, interesting composition. I don't know. I don't like it.
This is 90s art. Yeah, I mean, I would not say that this is sort of the pinnacle of comic book art by any means.
It's almost like a transition period,
90s
right?
perspectives at its best.
There's some good 90s covers out. This one doesn't hit me.
Yeah,
I don't know.
This is less about, I mean, other than like the Blade collectors, love this. I don't think it's necessarily
it's not iconic.
That doesn't carry the iconic status by any means, but this is more just from a scarcity grab.
The blood drip's cool.
I never get to use that sign, so I'm glad I got to use the not iconic stuff.
All right, so we talk about Scotty Young a lot, right? And his fandom is building as strong as anybody's, and he did a lot of the work on this short-lived Venom run. This is actually, I think, the second to last issue of this run as well. I think this went to 18 issues. But I mean, this is beautiful Scotty Young art. I mean, not what people necessarily associate with Scotty, but exceptionally well done in my opinion. And just a really cool looking book and worth grabbing if you're a Scotty Young collector, in my opinion. I think there are newsstands for these as well, although I was not able to find one listed anywhere. I think Venom was still producing newsstands at this point, but just a really cool classic Scotty Young.
Yeah, this is cool. It's always nice to see Scotty Young not doing Scotty Young. So
Well, I think people forget sometimes how talented of an artist he really is, right? I mean, he's developed a certain look that he's known for, but he's a pretty...
He has like a pretty diverse tool belt, I guess, where he'll do a cover and you won't even realize it's him unless like you followed his career for a long time, right? Like I always think of the Cable and Deadpool, but in part of the run, like
that's exactly where I was gonna go to. That's that Cable and Deadpool run. That kind of shows off the range of everything that he can do. Is that run right there? And it's crazy to think that came out all the way back in like 2006.
Yep. Well, and then what the ASM 611? I always think of that cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean that one's a little bit more like leaning towards like what he's known for, but
right, it's like that transition, like something from this to like his Cable and Deadpool to that ASM to what he's known for now, right?
The baby covers was the worst and best thing that ever happened to him.
Well,
they got overdone to the point where nobody was buying them, and now some of them are so damn hard to find because nobody
the
wanted.
Morbius cover, can't find that for the life of me.
You know, I was talking to Todd Knock, and y'all know all the headshot covers that he did. He was like, he just did one of them like on a whim for Marvel, and they just kept ordering headshot covers for him. You know, and it's kind of like for him, it was like, I really don't want to keep doing these headshot covers, but it's an easy check. And I think it's kind of like the same way with Scotty, like, I really don't want to keep doing these baby covers, but if people keep buying them, why not take the easy check? So,
but it's more than that. It's not just an easy check. Like he really does he brings joy back into the hobby. He brings like that childlike wonder back into these covers, which that part I think is what really sells. It's not that it's a baby. It's like you're looking at it like, okay, comics are fun. They're not always like these serious things. And I think that's the big thing with him. But Scotty, Ben, this is going to kill you. My Jeff DeCall is Josh Middleton, who in my opinion is the most multifaceted artist out there. Like if you look at Josh Middleton art, like he can do everything. He's
reinvented himself so many times too.
It's incredible. It's incredible. Like I would like to do a whole show with you just on Josh Middleton.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I remember the first time I saw Josh Middleton art, I was floored. It was NYX #1, and I started buying that series just because of that cover A with it's the girl with the pacifier. Like she's probably a little strung out on something, but she's got like the pacifier on the necklace. Like, I mean, I was completely blown away by him.
I would never have guessed that was Middleton. You just completely illuminated my point. Like that's Middleton, really?
Yeah, that's why that was the work that really drew me to him.
Huh.
Don't worry, Laura. I bought your copy like years ago. So
I think so much of Middleton's work is tied into DC as of recently. I feel like if he got more involved with companies outside of DC, that he would probably be a way bigger name than he is, because his work is. I've never seen a bad Middleton covers that I could think of.
His range though is bananas. I mean, what he can do.
Him. They need him to sell books.
Yeah. Well, that's why they put it on the nice cardstock and everything. So.
You get an extra $1 for it.
Yeah. I mean, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
What takes my money. Best dollar spent is to get that high cardstock.
All right. We got some international comics.
All right. So this is Amazing Spider-Man 50 from Argentina. It came out in 1968. The US was 1967. So maybe like 6 months to a year after the US. This has the story inside of it. So it's the first appearance of Kingpin. But this is also the first Spider-Man comic that was ever published in Argentina. So it's pretty much
Really?
like Spider-Man's first appearance as well. This was the first comic that they ever got. These were like supplements that were included in the El Tony magazine in Argentina. So super tough to get these, especially in any kind of nice shape. And I love, this is like my favorite Spider-Man cover ever. And I like this one because they toned down the orange a lot. So it's mostly just red. And I think it makes it look a lot better. So, yeah.
Why is it tough to get? Is it the paper in Argentina?
Yeah, the paper, I mean, the paper's like garbage. And these were, these were like supplements that were included with a magazine. So it's like, it's not like their magazines come like bagged or anything like some magazines over here do. So, I mean, you're talking what? It's been 40, 50, 54 years.
Oh God.
In Argentina, the weather, I mean, people just tossing stuff around.
Do you have this, Josh?
I don't. I want one of these so bad. So bad.
What do these cost?
I know there's one for sale right now, and I think the guy wants like $900 for it, and it's probably like, sheesh, I don't know, maybe like a 4.0. So I mean, I'm half tempted just to buy it, but
it's a
kind
big
of one
ticket.
of those.
But I mean, this thing has got to be ridiculously rare. I mean,
Yeah, I only know of like a people that have like a handful of copies. I actually know someone that has a 9.4, I think, of this book.
holy shit!
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it's crazy. So
Wait, do I know
don't
this
know.
person as well?
No,
Okay.
no, I don't think so. So yeah, I would love a copy, but it's one of those things where it's just a book that never pops up. So
And Kingpin's one of my favorite villains. His backstory is so tragic, and he makes so much sense to me. Most of these villains do, which I think that might mean that I'm a psychopath. Most villains just like, I'm like, okay, I see where you're coming from, Thanos. Snap. I get it. Like, and oh God, I shouldn't have said that live. Anybody else?
your Thanos was right, person.
So you're like a half empty kind of
Ugh.
guy.
If you're taking pictures of your food in the restaurant,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like when someone stops me from taking my first bite and like, whoa, I got to take a picture. It's like kind of like scoop into it. Like I don't care. Like
if you
it's
take
like that's
85 items into the checkout lane that says 15 or less, you're gone. Yeah. Sorry, make you guys lose views.
All right, so this one's really cool. This one has a lot of historical significance. So this is Fantastic Four 1, the South African edition from 1976. I believe the guts are Fantastic Four 95, so it doesn't have Fantastic Four number 1, but it's still the cover. These came with a poster inside of them, so it's super hard. I mean, it's impossible to get this book anyways, but with the poster, it makes it like extra hard. But the cool thing about these books, well, not cool, but so these books were printed during like apartheid. And there were comic book publishers that were like on the right side of history, and there were comic book publishers that were on the wrong side of history. And if I remember correctly, this is one of the ones that was on the right side, where they would show kids of all different colors on the inside, because there were some books where it was like they would only show white people on the inside of these books.
Really?
And it was yeah, because it was, yeah, so these things have like a crazy historical significance from Africa. So
oh wow.
and it's a great cover. I love how everything is like silver, and then the background's like that lime green.
Yeah.
So
wow.
Really cool.
That's incredible to me. Like that's literally collecting, like this is history, not just on the age part of it, but also social history. That's incredible.
All right, I love this book. So this is another cool one. So, Spider-Man India #1 from India. This was done before the US edition. This was done like 2 months before, I think, it released in India. November of 2004. It was done by Gotham Comics, and it's like I wish I still had my copy. It's like a little digest size book, so it's tiny. It's hard to get in nice shape. It is in English, so
Was it the same content as the Spider-Man India that
Mhm.
came out in the US?
yeah, it's the same story and everything. So this
But it
is
predates a year, right?
no, it's like 2
Yeah.
months.
Oh, it's 2 months. Okay.
Yeah, it's like 2 months, but it still predates it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
and it's in English, so people can't use the language barrier is a
But it's not
excuse.
comic size.
Yeah,
Josh,
that it
it's
doesn't
not
count.
comic.
So to me, this is the first appearance of Spider-Man India, and everyone over here is buying his second appearance
Well,
because
that's because they probably can't find this thing, right? I mean,
yeah. I mean, you can't find it at all.
Well,
I mean, I think I had 2 of these at once. And they're not cheap even when you do find them, because I used to know someone that lived in India, and whenever they would find one of these, they wanted like $100 a pop, and I was just like, for like a book that's like a 4.0 or like a 5.0, so I'm like, there's a couple of these on eBay, but yeah, it's
that's
just a
crazy because
cool book.
I've known about this through you for at least 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
and then I still have not attempted to try to find one. So I blame
Yeah,
myself more than anyone.
yeah,
It's
I don't.
intimidating. Foreigns are intimidating, Josh. This is like, I don't know. It's a lot. Like
It's a
trying to get
lot.
into international comics is so much. It's so much knowledge, and like it's a whole nother ball game. Like you have to relearn everything essentially.
Yeah, it's a lot of research, like a lot. But it's
And a
cool.
lot of trust with people too.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of trust with people, and I wanted to bring this up because it's always cool when a foreign book predates a U.S. book. So,
yeah, it makes it a must-have, right, for the Spider-Man India collectors for sure.
hmm
Very neat.
All right, this was you, right, man? You wanted to talk about this one?
Yeah, so yeah, this was a book that I put into the put on this week. So basically just my observation of this book was that, and not just this book, but a lot of Marvel open order variants are going under order for a couple of reasons. A, you have Marvel on the recent Miles book, the #1, they had like 7 different covers, not including the ratio variants, right? Just open orders. Then on top of that, these open order variants, the ratio variants, if stores do a exclusive on that, they get the ratios for the amount of books that they order for their store exclusives, right? So that kind of messes with the print run on the ratio variants, and why the ratio variants aren't getting as much as they used to get because they're so common now, right? But a lot of these open order variants, not only are they under order just because there's so many options out there, but Marvel doesn't always get the artwork in on time before it goes off a final order. So people are like, I don't know if I'm gonna order a book that I never even seen before. Now, for these Dodderman variants, with every iteration of a character on there, this was the first one that was open order, and the other two that came out before this, no, the other one it was one that came out before this, the Jean Grey, maybe the Emma Frost came out before this, I can't remember. They were ratio variants, so stores really didn't have an idea how these would sell because
Oh,
you
I thought
never had
it was a Rogue one, wasn't it?
the
Wasn't that
Rogue,
like
yeah,
the
the
one?
Rogue. There was the Jean Grey, the Rogue, and then you had this one, and then the Emma Frost, which was also a ratio variant, came out after this one. But this one was the first open order, so I think a lot of stores. And then it's Hellions 13. There was no incentive ratios for this book, and I posted about it just to see if people would start throwing them up on eBay, and still little to no
Well,
editions
people are
on
asking a
eBay.
fair amount for this book, though, man. If you check what's on eBay right now, people are asking a nice amount for this book.
Yeah, a nice penny for it. Plus, I mean, Russell Dodderman, he's a badass artist. And all of these covers have came out looking pretty good. I saw somebody in the chat say that barcode placement is not all, but I mean, I would rather than put it right there to where it's not covering up any of the art versus
Just
trying to
stick
put
it on
it
the
in
back,
that.
man.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
don't understand why they just don't put it barcodes on the back on
Yes,
some of that
yes.
ad space. But I guess you got a company paying for the ad space, so it'll probably piss them off if that barcode is there. But yeah, I would just say, man, if y'all see these, pick these up. They're out there in back issue bins. You're not gonna find them in excess, but you can definitely find them if you hit a comic book shop that normally orders a higher amount of inventory. That's back there in back issue bins. So before you go to eBay, drain all your resources, hit all your local comic shops, and you'll find these out there. But I wouldn't imagine that it's a ton of them out there. And it's just overall, this is a good set to pick up because now a lot of the issues in here are just open order back issue, so you don't have to pay a lot of money for them, and the prices on some of the ratio variants are pretty fair right now compared to what they were selling for in the past. Specifically that Rogue and that Jean Grey, those used to run a pretty penny, but now the prices have kind of stabilized on those. So if you
And
want to
people
complete the
love
whole set,
Psylocke
now is a good
covers.
time.
I mean,
Yeah.
people love Psylocke covers. I mean, it's one of the favorites for people. So
Yes, sir.
And it's always fun to collect those, like when they have like a theme set like this. It's fun to like put those sets together.
yeah,
Yep.
good to hunt for. I think this was also you, Hunter, but yeah, you know me, I've got love for the photo variants for the Marvel movies, and
Do
I think
you
this-
really?
Oh, I love
Oh, you
I
didn't
all
know
the
that
you
about?
liking these. No, I didn't know that about you. I'm learning.
Yeah, I
Okay.
do really. I mean, for the MCU ones in particular, but I mean, this one with Hugh Jackman on it. I mean, how can you not love this, man? Right? This is a classic Hugh Jackman pose, and he's not done yet. We're going to see more of him.
It's a great book to get autographed right here, I think, especially if you can find it in high grade, which is gonna be pretty tough. But if you can get one high grade and get it signed by Hugh Jackman and get it slabbed in that gold CGC, man, that'll be a nice book to have.
And there were newsstands of these too, if I'm not mistaken. There were newsstands of these, and this X-Men 2, there was a cool Nightcrawler cover. There was a Storm one. I want to say there were some cool ones from this from this these prequels.
Mm-hmm. There's some
I would
foreigns of
never-
this one too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't there a Japanese version of this cover? I want to say.
Possibly. I want to say there's one from Italy. I know there's one from India. Couple other places.
And only 12 on the census, which means there's an opportunity there. Only 5 and 9.8. So find some high grades of these and send them in. They'll move, no question.
Well, is Hugh Jackman doing a signing soon, or did he already do one not too long ago?
It might have already passed. If not,
Yeah.
it's probably coming up right after the holidays.
Well, and
Yeah.
after his Broadway, what's that Broadway show he's doing right now? Funny Man? What is it called?
I'm not sure because he was doing Broadway even before.
No, like
When
right
he
now
did-
in New York, he's on the Broadway show, and I tried to get tickets for it, and it was like $700 per ticket to go see him.
Oh wow!
Tickets for
That's
anything right now are bananas. I mean, any live show anywhere, it's crazy.
that's when you buy it from a street vendor.
Yeah, then you end up getting like a ticket for like the alley behind the Broadway stadium. And it's like, oh, great, I'm by this dumpster. Fantastic.
Off Broadway show.
Yes.
All right. This is a Dave Stevens kind of obscurity a little bit. This might be the last book of the night. So this is a Dave Stevens cover, kind of. He did the inks on this one, but he signed it. You can see his autograph there right next to her knee. Yeah, this is one that some of the Dave Stevens collectors go after when they're trying to complete his work. You can see sort of some of his inspiration there, but clearly not his art. But one that I just wanted to throw out there. People seem to love the Dave Stevens stuff. This one does come in newsstand. That's really, really hard to find. Really, really hard to find. But yeah, just kind of an obscure Dave Stevens item, if you will.
Interesting.
I don't know
Yeah,
anything about this title. I'm like, Grendel? What the hell is a Grendel?
This book might be older than me,
Yeah, I've never.
It
I've
is.
never
Yeah, it's older
Well,
than me.
or it could be the same age. I don't know. It depends on what month it came out. So.
I wish I could say it was older than me, but it's not, unfortunately. But yeah, and you can find the Grendel stuff. I mean, issue number 1 from this series, they introduced a new Grendel, a female Grendel in this series, which goes for a nice little amount. But yeah, these comical books weren't heavily ordered.
Very cool.
So is this retelling that classical story about Grendel, or is it like a spin-off kind of thing? Or
I'm sorry, what was that? Sorry.
oh, is this like continue? Is this like a comic adaptation of like that classic story about Grendel, or is this
No,
like
it's
something original?
No, there was a Grendel series that came up before this. It's like a vigilante, and and then this is like the next iteration of that character.
Gotcha.
I like that word, vigilante.
Yeah. That carried on from that. But I mean that first Grendel goes for big bucks. The original one goes for quite a bit.
All right, and so that was our last book. So
No,
again,
that's why I don't like being on this show, Aaron. Whenever I'm on this show, I get super into it, and then you're like, "Okay, we're done." And it's like, "Wait, we are."
I mean, but
done?
we've done so
Damn it.
many of these. We have that timing to like know how many books we can cover within that hour, right?
I know,
Because
but
we
I
were
want
talking about
more.
that too before, like after one show one day. Like Carter was like, "How do y'all like time it so perfectly?" I was like, I don't know. Ben and I we've worked together for such a long time now. At this point. Yeah,
You're a good team.
But
Great people here.
I want to thank our sponsors again. Cover Price. So make sure you're using the code Nirvana14 for the 30-day unlimited membership for only 99 cents for all new accounts. And make sure you're hopping over to birdcitycomics.com. Right now they are doing. Are you still doing the give a gift, get a gift?
We are. So yeah, essentially if you guys buy a mystery box, we just take the proceeds and I haul my ass down to Walmart and I pick an angel off the tree. I think they keep that going until the New Year or Christmas Eve. I've been taking my kids to do it too. So we take an angel and we buy them everything on their list on your behalf. So definitely, they were telling us at Walmart the other day that angel program is not being supported very well this year because
It's a tough time.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the angels just aren't being sponsored. So every single one that we can get matters.
Yeah. And then does anyone else have anything else to promote, or is it just a happy holidays for this to everyone this weekend? Because I think this is the last show for me for this week. I don't want to say for the year because you never know what's going to happen next week. So,
will you guys be here next week? Next Thursday?
I don't know. I don't know. We haven't really talked about it yet.
Yeah, we'll probably discuss it after the show here. But
okay.
What happened next Thursday?
Nothing. They should be here. People are like, "What am I going to do with my Thursday night if they're not here?"
Yeah. It depends on how much eggnog I drink all week.
Oh my god, eggnog's so gross.
I don't actually drink eggnog. I was just saying that as a metaphor for anything
I never
else I was doing.
the eggnog hype.
Oh, can we mention that on January 6th, it's a Friday, the Nearing Nirvana team is participating in a Secret Santa. So all the Nirvana crew members bought each other gifts. I really, really hope I didn't get Josh. I really hope you're not my Secret Santa. I'm gonna open it carefully and so make sure you tune in for that because we'll be opening our presents from all the team members on January 6th Nearing Nirvana show.
Yeah.
Yay.
Tune in.
That should be a fun show.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
I am
'Cause-
too.
Because how many people did we get? Did we get 9 to
I
participate?
don't know. Lucy ran it. I have no clue.
Is it 9 or
Uh,
10?
Well,
I
I
think
don't
we
know
have.
if we got 9, that doesn't work.
Oh yeah. Because well, I think I counted the names in the chat, but I guess there might be like one person that's in the chat but's not participating or something like that. I think that's what it might be, because I was like, oh, if we have all these people in the chat, it'll look perfect on StreamYard with the 9 people, and I made the Brady Bunch joke. Like,
Anybody but Josh. Anybody but Josh.
Josh.
No one's gonna know who got my package. Make sure it's extra.
Oh God! See, even that sounds dirty when you say it.
It's gonna be extra. It's gonna be extra secret.
Yeah, I was able to change the return address of mine, like, and then I was able to take out the name. So like, if they put 2 and 2 together, like whoever is receiving the gift I sent,
Don't give it
they're gonna
away.
probably think it's someone else. Hopefully,
We'll see.
unless
we'll
they watch
see.
this. But yeah, but
That'll be
I
good. Watch.
I think it's just gonna be great to see everyone's reaction, and then
Mhm.
yeah. So, but all right, I guess we'll go ahead and call it here. And then, are y'all doing a show tomorrow night?
No, we're doing a re-air for the next 2 Fridays, just because Christmas and
Oh, yeah,
New
yeah, yeah.
Year's. We'll be here on Tuesday though. Tuesday we have another comic book woman show, but the next 2 Fridays will just be re-airs. But we picked good ones, so make sure you tune in for those if you can.
All right, and I'm gonna play our outro. All right, have a happy holiday and stay safe.